Hey, Joey Only here, Caribou Weather Dude, and enjoying myself as we get some nice spring-like conditions going on. Hey, so weather is kind of slow in BC right now, but that's okay. I got lots to talk about. One of the things I want to do more often now is when there is slow weather, and I'm more set up now for quicker video making, is to start making forecasts for place beyond BC and just talking about it, whether or not anyone from outside of BC sees it or not. I don't know. Maybe you'll just find this stuff interesting. But I think there's going to be a tornado outbreak in the United States later this week. Let's look at some of the data and decide for ourselves. This is more or less the setup for Wednesday, the 22nd of March at 7 a.m. And as you'll make note of, we got this Colorado low that's kind of moving its way through and going to push into Ontario. It's dragging all kinds of warmth in behind it. Cold air coming down from Canada.
You'll often hear a TV meteorologist explain that tornadoes are a consequence of large colliding air masses from Canada and the Gulf of Mexico.
American forecasters always blame it on the cold air from Canada, and then Canadians were always like, cold air from Siberia is coming, and I bet in Siberia they're like, cold air from somewhere else, and no one wants to take credit for the cold air. But this is a classic setup for severe weather development. So let's have a look at what we think may be happening this week. Already at 7 a.m., the first thunderstorms will start firing up here southwest and west of St. Louis, where the Cardinals are. I'm not particularly a Cardinals fan, but I love having lots of hats. And here is what the National Weather Service is saying, taking note that all the precipitation that keeps hammering into California is giving fuel for this tornado setup. So first we have warm air, we have cold air up north, we have lots of moisture, and we have wind shear. And every time I start recording, Meow, he's been out for hours, shows up. It's like, you're like magic, camera hog. Cat. 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 So we'll just play this animation starting at Wednesday morning and we'll let it go for a couple days while I look at day 3 convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. On Wednesday, a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms across northeast Kansas and northern Missouri. A low amplitude shortwave trough is expected to move quickly northeastward from southern California through the Four Corners, Central Rockies, and Central Plains, accompanied by a jet streak characterized by a 100-knot flow at 500 millibars. Here in the animation, on Thursday, we start to see the next line of storms develop. We'll talk about that in a minute. Surface cyclogenesis is anticipated downstream of this short wave across central high plains Wednesday afternoon, with the resulting low then moving across Kansas State and northern Missouri, along with a sharpening frontal zone. As this occurs, low-level moisture will advect northward across the southern plains, with 60 dew points likely reaching southeast Kansas by Wednesday evening. Warm temperatures aloft are currently expected to preclude thunderstorm development across the warm sector over the southern plains Wednesday afternoon and evening. Thunderstorm development is expected during the evening and overnight across the mid-Missouri Valley, fostered by warm air advection attendant to the strong low-level jet. Steep mid-level lapse rates and strong mid-level flow will support robust updrafts capable of hail. The severe threat is greatest with the initial development through the late evening, but thunderstorms will likely persist through the night. We'll just restart this animation. It's really day 4 and 5, which is Thursday and Friday, that they're expecting possibly the worst development. It's forecast to consist of warm conus trough and subtropical ridging centered over the Gulf of Mexico. Enhanced mid-level westerly southwesterly flow will persist between these features, extending from northern Mexico into the Great Lakes region. The surface pattern is expected to feature a low over northern Indiana with a cold front extending to the southwestward across the mid-Missouri Valley, Ozark Plateau, and Oklahoma into southwest Texas. Thunderstorm development is anticipated along this front Thursday afternoon, supported by an ample frontal moisture and a combination of large-scale forcing for ascent attendant to a short wave moving into the southern high plains and converging along the front. Given the expected vertical shear, supercells are possible in areas where a discrete mode can be maintained. This appears most probable from the central Oklahoma into the Texas Hill Country. Friday, look at some of those storms. Shortwave trough continues eastward across southern and central plains Friday. Associated surface low is expected to develop along the front over Arkansas before then continuing northeastward ahead of the shortwave. Thunderstorms will likely already be ongoing along the front, and the severity of the storms will be linked to the amount of downstream destabilization. Re-intensification appears most probable across central and southern Mississippi, where they use short forms always in NOAA forecasts like this, and that's hard for Canadians. That's probably hard for a lot of Americans. Freezing rain, New York State, Saturday. Let's go back and replay the animation. So let's have a less technical look at it. Thursday at 11 a.m. I looked at these forecasts last night. They were a little bit different. So expect that they're going to keep changing. Expect that, you know, these storms could move a little bit. The areas where, you know, in our predictions, the areas where are expected to be most intense might change. But we pretty much know that bad weather is going to move through. And, you know, and you look at a long-range forecast from NOAA like this, and you think, well, they're still not ringing alarm bells too loud. Down by Wichita Falls, that's where Aunt Meg lives. Billy! Hope Billy gets to her. Aunt Meg lose her house again. So when you think about like the December 10th, 2021 outbreak, they were not predicting 3-4 days ahead of time what actually ended up happening. So that's sort of the danger with these kinds of storms setups too, is we really don't know how it might fully play out. I bet you in 1, 2, or 3 days I'll have a very good idea. And certainly the fact that I've seen it change since midnight last night tells me that it may change some more. 2 p.m., that's a good day. And look at the core right there that developed. That's a really good time to start seeing these storms explode, right? So definitely Oklahoma Thursday. So this is now predicted to be earlier than it was expected. Last night's projections fire up until the evening of Thursday, but now at 4 p.m. we have strong looking developments possible. Setups are pretty robust through Missouri, and then in southern Texas it starts to develop Friday morning. Those so far don't look as bad as some of the things I've seen north of. Again, these projections might change. It's going to move into New Orleans throughout the day on Friday. Lots of moisture in the atmosphere. Lots of cold air, lots of warm air, lots of available potential energy. So this is a story we're going to have to be watching this week. If you're weather nerds, and good luck to everybody down there if you know people who might be affected by these storms. And this is the same storm that pushes it into Ontario and then sort of into Quebec. You will see obviously a different example of this weather. You're going to see the winter side of it, whereas places down south may see the violent thunderstorm side of it. I hope that gives you a bit of a better idea what might be happening down there this week, and I'll just keep trying to make forecast videos as much as I can and keep trying to put new content on this channel. So please do me a favor, subscribe, hit like, hit share, tell a friend about me, tell a friend about us, you know, help me grow this channel into something that people will want to be a part of. Sometimes we're silly on here, sometimes we're very serious. Sometimes, most of the time, we're talking about British Columbia. But like I say, while things are slow in BC, I'm going to do my best to keep bringing you weather stories right here on Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude. See you next time.